I hope your week is off to a great start. It's time to transform and roll out. Another Optimus Prime build video is coming your way today on BrickScale Studio. Welcome back to BrickScale Studio. My name is Jeff. Thank you so much for joining me. Always happy to have you here. So today we are going to be building Optimus Prime's lower right leg. So if you'll recall in the previous build episode, we did the lower left leg. So we have the foot and the sort of leg bone structure. Now we're going to be adding some plating and armor to kind of flesh it out. Another exciting build video, lots of parts, lots of big metal parts. These legs end up being very heavy. So let's get into the build video and we will talk about it after.
Autobots, roll out!
So we have parts pack 9 here, and it's a pretty thick pack here with a lot of parts, a lot of big parts. So today we're going to be working on the lower right leg. So if you remember last build episode, we worked on the lower left leg. So in a previous episode, we constructed the foot and the sort of bones of the leg, and now we're going to be adding some panels to sort of flesh it out. So we won't need this in the beginning. We're basically going to be building some components and then attaching them at the end. So I'm going to set the foot and lower leg assembly aside for now. All right, so like I said, we have some pretty big parts here, and it looks like my parts are sort of out of order from how they're listed on the parts pack. All right, so yeah, my tray 3 was on the top, which I guess that's all right since we're starting off with this piece anyway. All right, so we need TR901, which is this piece. And then we need this piece. Ah, here we go. They were hiding. Okay, so the first thing we need is this piece, which is very large and metal. And we want to, the first thing we want to do, I'm going to set this one aside. Like we did last time, we want to attach or put this little mesh piece in, and then we have this piece that sort of holds it all in there, like so. So let me get that going. I'm going to put a little glue on there. Some glue in there and just give that a second to cure. So that's good enough for now. The problem is my little piece here is a little warped, and so it wants to pull up on that one side. All right, so let's get into the next step here. We want to take this piece, and this one's going to be setting right in here like so. And that's going to go in with PWM 2x6 screws. And this is that one piece where we have the marathon, like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on this piece, and then we're going to put another on top, and that's going to have like another 8. So yeah, it's like sort of our marathon attaching phase here. All right, that's the last one, and that one is in. And now we're taking this big piece, and it is, so this one's labeled number R2, and this one is labeled number 4. We also need there should be a little bushing piece. All right, so we got this little bushing piece that's going to go in right there. And then this is going to go on top, like so. And again, we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 PWM 2x6. Let's get those out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, perfect. All right, now we need some of our Allen key screws here. We need the 3x8s. And we need the 38s, which, all right, the 38s are what I call the toothy washers. All right, and those are going one here. All right, and that is that. And then we want to flip this over. And we want to put a 2.6 by 8. That is going to go right here. All right, perfect. So I think we can set that aside for now. All right, now we're going to work on the other big piece here. And same thing, we're going to take our little mesh piece, and that is going to go right in there, and then this is going to go on top. Like so. So this one seems like it's a little better, like it's not so, it lays flatter, it's not so warped, so hopefully we won't have the same issues. So let me just set that aside for now. So next we're coming in with this piece, and this is going to go right in here like so. And that's going in with our PWM 2x6, another 8 of those. Right, that was the last one. And then this side gets an extra couple of screws up here. These are PWB 2.6 by 8. We need that part. All right, so this is going in like so, just like that. All right, so now we have that piece on like so. And now we can set this aside. And now we need this piece, this piece. So these, you're just going to match up the angle. And they're going to go in just like so. And then this is going to go on just like this. That makes more sense. All right, perfect. And that is getting attached with PB 2.6 by 8. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think my screwdriver is becoming demagnetized, so I'll have to remagnetize it here. I'll do it after this step. All right, let me grab my magnetizer. All right, so this is my little magnetizer. I got this on Amazon. It was like, I don't know, $6 or $7. So basically there is a plus and a minus, so magnetize, demagnetize. So obviously if I put it in here and we grab some screws, you can see the magnet is very weak. But if I put it through here, perfect. So we got that done. So you have to do that every so often. It just gets demagnetized over time. All right, so now we're going to take this piece. And we have this piece. Oh my gosh. It's going right there like so. PWB 2x6x8. That is these here. Alright, so that is on there like so. And now we're going to take this big piece. And just like the other one, this is going on just like so. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's the PWM 2x6. It's these little metal, or these little silver screws. So let me get those in. All right, that is 8. And then we need to take 2 of our Allen key screws with the crinkly washers. And the first one is going in here. All right, that is in. And then we want to flip it over, and we want to put a PB 2x6x8. And that's going to go right down in there. Okay, so then we set that aside. Okay, so now we need to bring over, or bring back our foot. And this is going to go on the side like so. PB 2x3x8. And they're going to go right here. I'm going to stand this up for a second, even though I know it's a little difficult to see, but just to get this started. All right. So that is looking just like that. Set that down really quick. And then, of course, we're going to flip it over. And then this piece. Let me just double check here. So that piece is going to go on just like so. And that's going to go in with the 3x10s. And I'm pretty sure more of the crinkle washers. Yes. Yeah, so these you want to be careful. Like I said, I mentioned in other videos, these little Allen key screws, you generally don't get any extras. They give you, like for this step, we need 4 of these, and there are 4 in the pack. So you usually don't get any extras. So this is going to go on. Alright, let me just get this positioned where it needs to be. Just kind of let gravity help us out a little bit here. so that is what that side is looking like. Okay, now we're gonna turn it over like so. Grab some parts from this last tray here. And this is gonna sit just like so. PWB 2x6x8. Alright, last one. Alright, actually I'm gonna set this aside. So we need this. Alright, so we need these two parts, and this is going to go in just like so. And those are going with PWM 2x6. Alright, perfect. Now we want to take this piece and this piece. And that's going to sit on there just like so. And we're going to take our 3x8s. All right, so we got that together. Then we want to take these two pieces, and they are going to line up just like so. And then again, we're taking our 3x8s. And this time we're just using our standard lock washers. All right, and I believe that is it for the Allen key screws. So that is what that is looking like. So now we're going to bring back the foot. And let's see. This is going to go right like so. Now, if I remember from the last, yes, you really got to push that on there. And again, it kind of sounds like it's breaking, but it just goes in there very tight. And so you just want to make sure you've got that all pushed in. And then we're taking two of our PB 2.6x8. All right. And now we want to take 4 of our PWB 2x6x8s, which are the flange screws here. Now, one up here. Okay. And then I believe our other one is right here. Yes. All right. And then we turn this around. And we're doing the same thing on this side. Like I said, you kind of got to get these pushed in very tightly. This one I am going to lay down so we can make sure. All right, perfect. Okay, so we have that. Now we need to take this little detail, and this is just a push to fit, which I remember from the last episode, it was, yep, that is not going anywhere. All right, and the next one are these two pieces here. Whew. And these you just want to sort of line up. Let me do this side first. Okay, and then this side is going to go on like so. Get those lined up. Okay. All right, now put that aside for a second. So we have our little magnets here. And here we want to put a little glue on each side here. And then we just drop those magnets in. So set those up there for now, let those dry a little bit. So now we've got a piece to go on the back here. And these are PWB 2x6x8, so that is this. So 2 of those. So that's going to go like so. And 2. Next we have this piece. And it's going to be going on just like so. And that's going in with 4. Hold up. PWB 2x6x8. Alright, that is in there. Now we need this, this, and this. Alright, so this is going to get glued. Just like so. Actually, that's pretty tight in there. And then this. It's going to go right on there like so. So yeah, it says to drop some glue on there, so let's just do that really quick. I think that's it for glue for this episode. We bring over that piece. So while we're waiting for all the glues to dry, go ahead and get this part secured. All right, perfect. Okay, so we should be good with our magnets. They should be complete. So again, you just drop them in. They've got a little locator here, and we just drop this in like so. Okay, now let's push this piece on. So this is going to go just like so. There we go. And then this piece should just push on like so. And then our final little piece of decoration is we're going with this piece right here. All right. And then remember from last time, we have this piece that's going to slot in here. Just like so. All right, so that is the finished lower right leg. So we have this side, we have the back, this side, and the front. All right, so that is looking great. So that is it for this episode. So on to the Lego portion.
Autobots, roll out!
Here we are on the Lego side. If you remember from last build episode, we finished up the lower leg and we got to start on this foot piece. So we're going to continue on this. We're doing steps 205 to 221. so that's the end of the Lego portion. So we got a lot done, actually. We finished the foot that we had started in the last episode, built the complete second foot, and then we got to start on this piece here. All right, so that is the end of the Lego portion. To recap the episode, on the scale model side, we got the lower right leg panels in. So that is looking like this. And this is extremely heavy, just like the other one. And then on the Lego side, we started this piece, and then we got the foot that we started in the previous episode, and then the whole entire other foot. So we've got the legs done, which is kind of funny because we're in the next episode of the scale model, we're going to be working on the upper legs, but for the Lego model, we are done with the legs. So that is it for episode 13. That was the lower right leg. So now we have both the left and the right, the foot and the lower legs done. So let's get into our summary for today. So today we completed 41 steps and 37 parts on the scale model side, and on the Lego side, 35 steps and 77 parts. So total to date, 484 steps and 572 parts on the scale model side, and 317 steps, 887 parts on the Lego side. All right, so for the scale model, like I said, we did the right lower leg. For the Lego side, we completed the feet. We had started one in the previous episode, so we finished that one, and then we completed the second foot, and then we attached a couple of tanks on mid-legs. So that was on the Lego side. So coming up for the channel on Thursday, we have another Titanic build. We'll be continuing that motor. And then on Saturday, we will have the Endurance, which is another ship. Again, we're having part constraints with the Batmobile, so we're sort of shifting gears and doing some Lego sets on Saturdays for a few weeks. And then join us next week on Optimus Prime, where we will start working on the hips and kind of working down. So initially when we started the legs, we started with the feet, and then we went to the lower legs. So now we're going to put the lower legs aside, and we're going to start from the hips and then work our way down to the upper legs, and then join the upper and lower legs together. And then eventually we will be joining the two legs together at the hips. So next week we start working on the hip section. And then after that, we go into the two upper legs, and then we join them together, I believe in episode 17. So until we see each other again, remember to like, share, subscribe. We're getting close to hitting that 500 subscriber goal so we can give away another Lego set. So if you haven't subscribed, please click that subscribe button. It's totally free. And until we see each other again, happy building, take care, be kind to each other, and I'll see you soon.